prove. I wanna lose. Yeah, something to prove. You know that I wanna lose. Yeah, gonna leave this here. This right here gonna be that year. Yeah, that's too sincere. I don't really think I could be that clear. I'ma be right here, but y'all know that. Wanna feed my fist, try to hold me back. Y'all do that, try to hold me down. Karma is real and it's coming around.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into On the Clock Baseball. The first weekend of the season has come and gone, but there was a huge controversial story to come out of it. I'm talking, of course, about Torpedo Bats. If you don't know what this is a slightly altered bat that the Yankees, or at least some of the Yankees, have been using, and a lot of fans believe that it was a direct result in the Yankees scoring 20 runs on the Brewers in Saturday's game. I say some because not all of them, like I said, are using these bats. The player who did arguably the most damage in that game, Aaron Judge, is not using these bats, says he doesn't like these bats. So I believe it's Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, and maybe a couple others that have used these bats. And before we really get into the specifics of them, Jazz Chisholm actually chirped back at the fans about this. So I got to read this tweet to you. Okay, explanation. The barrel is bigger and within MLB regulation. For the idiots that say it's moved to the label, you're an idiot. Nobody is trying to get jammed. You just move the wood from the parts of the bat you don't use to the parts you do. You're welcome. No more stress for y'all. This tweet was, of course, met with controversy, but I gotta say, even as a Red Sox fan, I gotta side with Jazz on this one. Like, I've been doing my own research into these bats over these last couple days, and here's basically what I found. These bats have been inspected by the league. They are within regulation. It is basically what Jazz says. There's more to it, obviously, but you just move the wood from parts of the bat to another part of the bat to make the part of the bat that particular hitter hits the ball well. Like in that area of the bat, you move more of the wood there, so it's harder hit when you swing the bat. This, to my knowledge, is collected with data and analytics on specific players, so on and so forth. But basically, to make a long rant short, the important notes of what I found is that these are legal bats within MLB regulation. They have been inspected by the league, and the league has okayed them. The Yankees are also not the only team to be using these bats. Members of the Red Sox, Mets, Twins, and others tried them out in spring training. The Yankees really are just the first team to actually use them in an official game. Moving on to some brighter stories, a few extensions have happened over the weekend. First of all, Brandon Pfaadt of the Arizona Diamondbacks has agreed to a 5-year, $45 million deal. It's a team-friendly deal. He's not an ace. He's like the middle-of-the-pack average pitcher. You need those guys, and you need them in your rotation long-term, so very team-friendly deal for him. Like it a lot for the Diamondbacks. You know, if they're going to build something sustainable here, especially bringing in guys like Corbin Burns and Eduardo Rodriguez and stuff like that to anchor the rotation, you're going to need to lock up these guys behind them to, you know, keep your rotation solid, especially with the possibility of Zach Gallen leaving in free agency after the season. So good move by the Diamondbacks. And then, of course, my Red Sox signed Garrett Crochet to a 6-year, $170 million extension. Technically starts next year, so we have him for this year as well. So 7 years total. He's going to be a Boston Red Sox. I like the deal. It does have an opt-out after 2030, so it could be a little shorter. But I like the deal. We gave up a lot to trade for him this offseason, so getting a deal like this done was like my top priority list for the Red Sox ever since they traded for him. Like, get it done. And I was a little worried because he had initially said that once the season started, he didn't want to talk trades anymore. But somehow they let it creep a couple days into the season. They got it done. There's also rumors that they're working on locking up their young second baseman Christian Campbell as well, who is also off to a hot start and could be finally the heir apparent to Dustin Pedroia at second base after the Red Sox have struggled at second base since Pedroia went down with that injury caused by Manny Machado in 2017. So some good things going on in the Red Sox camp, even though their offense isn't playing the way I would like it to play. But we'll have a little bit more on that later. The Marlins started the season off hot with 3 straight walk-off wins, and even though I don't know what that translates to in their larger season, a team that's not projected to do very well, that's got to be an exciting feeling, because a walk-off win in itself is exciting, but when you go 3 in a row, and especially to start the season, I don't know if that's ever been done before, and I don't know how many teams have done 3 consecutive walk-offs in a row. So that is actually a really cool thing. Again, might not mean a ton once 162 is done, but just a cool memory for Marlins fans and something worth noting. In a scarier story, Jonathan India took one off the face from Emmanuel Clase, and it was not intentional. I'll say that flat out. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter, people saying it was intentional or theorizing that it was intentional, but I don't think it was. Clase is a very powerful pitcher who at times can be wild, and all of his stuff cuts one way. He's trying to get another pitch that cuts the other way, so he's trying out some new pitches and things, and in this process it just looks like one got away from him. Unfortunately, it got India in the face. He walked it off, which is, anytime a guy can do that after taking one to the noggin, is impressive, so hopefully he's all right here. Despite the Dodgers projected to be the NL West Kings for a long time, it doesn't look like the Padres are giving up anytime soon. At the time of recording this, they have gone 5-0 in their first 5 games, really kind of making a statement that, hey, we're still here too. We're going to make this a fight. We're not going to go down easy, essentially. Again, when you're going up in a division against the Dodgers, I don't know how much that really means, because the Dodgers, unfortunately for the Padres, have gone 6-0 at the time of recording this. So even though the Padres have put up a very impressive start, the Dodgers are still 1 ahead of them. And yeah, it's kind of like that thing where it's like, okay, we're fighting. We know we still don't probably have much of a chance, but look for them and other teams in the NL West to at least keep things interesting throughout the season. The Dodgers have a target on their backs right now, right? Like, they're the defending world champs. They know they're the ones spending all the money. And, well, are they spending it because they're deferring all? Who knows? But they've got a target. Teams want to prove they can beat them and not make it easy for them. So I look for the NL West to be very interesting this year. And of course, lastly, I got to touch back on my Red Sox, because Red Sox Nation, Red Sox fans, if you're watching this, look, you're fucking killing me right now. Okay? Like, lay off of Devers. Like, look, yeah, he's struggling. He's gone over whatever with 15 strikeouts. Look, it's not that simple to move to a new position, and don't sit here and tell me, oh, he's the DH. What else does he got to do other than hit? It's mental too, right? Like, look at it this way. David Ortiz, who is arguably the greatest designated hitter in Red Sox history and one of the greatest designated hitters of all time, he was not happy about the move when they said in 04, no more first base, you're a full-time DH. And he struggled out of the chute. But look at the year that he had. Look at the career he had after that, right? And we know that whatever talks went on between Devers and the Red Sox this offseason in transitioning him to DH over third base didn't go well. The Red Sox side did not handle it well, didn't have conversations with him early enough, and possibly also had some misleading conversations to him saying, oh, this isn't happening, ignore what you're hearing, we're not replacing you at third base, blah, blah, blah. And then guess what they did? And then they had this conversation like right before spring training, like, oh, you're the DH now. And he's like, fuck that, I'm not. And then, yeah, he pouted. I'm not going to excuse his behavior. But when you look at that, like, he needs time to adjust, because you need to get into that mental space, right? Like, Poppy kept things light in the clubhouse. He was always joking around. That was his way of, staying in the game. JD Martinez, he went into the video room and just dove into his at-bats like a madman. When you're the DH and a full-time DH, because the DH for a lot of other teams is a position where they use to get a guy a day off, right? You're not DHing full-time, you're cycling guys in and out. But for the teams that have a full-time DH, and there's a few of them out there. It's a position, it's a mental thing where, like, you got to figure out how to stay focused through a 9-inning game when you're not playing the field. You got to figure out how to stay engaged and stay ready to take your at-bats. So for me, Devers, it might be just figuring out what he needs to do to stay in that mental space for a 9-inning game. He looks a little off on the ball right now, obviously. I also think his shoulders might still be bugging him from last year. He might have a little bit too much pride to speak up and say something. If his shoulders are really bugging him, he should speak up and say something, because that is an injury concern in the long term that I don't like to see. But as far as like him adjusting to DH, might take a few weeks, might take a month. Look, guys, it might be a long April for the kid. You heard it here first. But by May, June, look for this kid to turn it around, have a good year. And by next year, 2026, look for a big Poppy-esque Rafael Devers, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, you can bookmark this video and come back here and shit all over me. But that's what I got in it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I've got some other videos I got to go record, working on a ton of stuff for the channel. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment your favorite thing that's happened in this first week of the season. And I will see you on the next one. Tell me a little bit about what that was like, rooming with the chicken farmer in college.
A lot of eggs, a lot of free eggs. Parents would come and visit, of course, for games and stuff, and they would give us dozens of eggs. So we always had eggs on hand, that's for sure. Yeah, me and we go back a while. We have a history, but it's funny. We always, he has plenty of nicknames, but yeah, we always have. You never had to worry about not having enough eggs in our house, that's for sure.
Is it surreal now being in the same organization as him?
Yeah, it's really cool. One of my good friends actually was his roommate at Southern prior to me. And so he was jealous when he got drafted to the Red Sox. He was like, dude, this is not fair. Like, I have no buddies over here from, college ball, whatever. So he was jealous that we ended up being teammates, and it's exciting getting to see a familiar face and be able to just reminisce on college life here and there.
Give me a name of a prospect that the fans should be hyped about and why.
Brought up to Double-A pretty early, but Conley Early, man, he is a pitcher. He's a heck of a pitcher. Really great guy to be around too. Great clubhouse guy. Man, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot. We have a lot of really good guys. I mean, obviously Duffy, Samlin. Samlin was my roommate. So, the dude throws 100. It's hard to beat that. But I will say one of the guys that I would keep an eye on for this year, and I'm obviously training with him right now, is Danny Kerwin. I think Danny Kerwin's going to have himself a great year. He's been balling. He's been working his butt off all season and all off season to have a great year this year, and I think he's going to be one that the Sox fans want to watch out for sure.
What can you tell me firsthand about like the pitching program that the Boston Red Sox currently has in place and how it's helped you?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell how much time they put into it and how organized it is. Everything they do is for a reason, and they have an answer for why they do everything. So it was a huge change from kind of my first couple months of being with the organization to now. They just have everything down to a science. So whether it's, TrackMan or the types of balls we throw, or I think for me, the biggest thing was in-game pitching, like what pitches to throw, why. I think overall it just really helped me trust my stuff more. The biggest thing with them is just throwing your best stuff in the zone. And kind of like I said earlier, that simple mindset of having good stuff and just being able to throw it down the middle and let it work has helped me a lot. And I think a lot of other pitchers have gained success from.
Lead